As we are praying, the Lord was showing me a very big storm, amen? Like floodings. I don't know if this has already happened, but I'm getting it like this is something that will happen like in one of the Asian countries, amen? I'm seeing a serious flood that is going to devastate a certain country in Asia, amen? But I'm looking at a country like India and Bangladesh. Between these countries that is in Asia, amen. The Lord is showing me a very serious devastation concerning Mukanya Manzang. I'm seeing water will rise and there will be floods. I don't know if this has already happened. I don't know because I haven't been watching news, amen. I don't know whether this has already happened or not, but I'm seeing it coming through, amen? And God is saying we need to pray so that lives, because there might be lives they might be sleeping and will be taken by the water, amen? But I'm seeing it, God is showing me this will happen to like my rural areas, like it won't be in town, but somewhere like rural areas, amen? And I'm seeing a devastation that is going to come, but it will destroy lives, amen? So God is saying we need to stand for. Don't know what I see in between India and Bangladesh, but I'm seeing, this is what I'm seeing. Like there'll be a serious flood. It's going to come there. Amen? But in some parts of Africa, we'll still lack rain. Amen? In some parts of Africa, we'll still be missing the rains, even as the year will come to an end. Rain will not be Sizankala constant. Amen? But it will come later on, but Sizankala Mangakuma last. In some parts of Africa, in terms of the rains. This is what God is just showing me. He opened something like a TV and he's showing me what is happening. This is like for the world. Amen? But for India, we need to pray. It's like between India and Bangladesh, a flood, a serious flood that can destroy lives. Amen? And in Africa, the issue of rain will still be a problem in some countries. Amen? Fewer countries will have the rains, but this is the focus. But God is saying, we pray for all this that He's saying so that God can correct the situation of the rains and the situation of the flood. Amen? Because if God will answer this prayer, you find that things are going to change. Amen? Instead of having delays of the rains of some other places, you see that the rains will come. And the floods might be stopped. Amen? So we are going to pray this prayer according to what God has just shown me. Amen? Let's pray that prayer.
Nearly 6 million people across South Asia are under the threat from rising flood waters. While the heavy monsoon rains continue to wreak havoc, more than 1 million people are displaced in one Indian state alone. Here's more.
Millions have been affected by floods and landslides in the northern and southeastern parts of Bangladesh. Many people have lost their homes, with official estimates pegging the number at 66,000 homes being lost across the country, many in Gaibandha alone. Floods and landslides have put more than 4 million people at the risk of food insecurity and diseases.
কষ্টের শেষ নাই আমাদের এই স্কুল যদি না থাকতো আমরা কোথায় যে গেলাম হয় আমাদের কোনো নির্দিষ্টই থাকলো না হয় কোথায় থাকলাম হয় কোথায় গেলাম হয় কষ্টের মধ্যে হাঁস মুরগিগুলো সব ভাসে দিলাম
According to officials, rivers Jamuna and Tista are at the highest levels in 40 years, overflowing and breaching embankment walls at several places. Miles away in Nepal, the scenario is not very different. Monsoon flooding and landslides continue to pile on the misery, with reports suggesting that at least 90 people have lost their lives and the toll is mounting. More than 40,000 soldiers and police forces have been deployed in the region. Search and rescue operations are still underway for dozens of people who are missing. After causing floods and landslides in Nepal, 3 rivers have been overflowing in India at a mark that is considered dangerous. Parts of eastern Bihar have been submerged and it has led to the deaths of at least 78 people. In India, Floods and heavy rainfall have caused massive devastation in the eastern region of Bihar and Assam. 4.5 million people have been affected by floods in Bihar, and the water levels are still on the rise.
दिन भर आदमी यहाँ मतलब पुलिस अधिकारी लोग आते जाते रहते हैं, नाव से आते जाते हैं और 3 दिन से लगातार पानी बढ़ती जा रही है.
In areas where floodwaters have receded, villagers are cramming into small wooden boats or have to swim back to their homes to retrieve belongings. Another Indian state grappling with the heavy monsoon is the northeastern state of Assam. Flash floods have killed at least 22 people and disrupted lives of more than 4.5 million people. Homes in Assam were filled with waist-deep water, leaving more than 85,000 people homeless. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
Well, with that...
Rain comes to Kerala every year. Not like this. People are walking miles to safety through what officials say are the worst floods for a century.
After 36 years, it's the first time that such flooding is happening here. It's a disaster for the whole population.
A third more rainfall than usual has fallen this season with devastating effects. Boats and helicopters are being used to rescue people, including this pregnant woman. Hundreds of thousands are now homeless and living in 1,500 emergency relief camps, waiting and hoping while volunteers cook for them. Men, women and children forced to flee to safety, but the camps are increasingly crowded and some are under threat from rising waters. Flooded roads are making it difficult for badly needed humanitarian aid, like food and bedsheets, to reach Kerala.
People are trying to kind of reach out, and the rescue efforts both by relief agencies, which are now deploying choppers as well, particularly in the last 48 hours. There's been very, very intense activity from them.
India's Prime Minister Modi has now arrived in the region to see an area whose deluged infrastructure and population are struggling to cope. Across India, close to 1,000 people have been killed in the current rainy season, and there are more downpours to come. Katie Austin, BBC News.